What's up, guys? Today I'm making a video on predicting the Pittsburgh Steelers 2020 to 2021 schedule. So I've already made 2 videos about the Patriots and the Bills, and I predicted theirs. You can go watch that. And I think I'm just going to make prediction videos for some of the more popular teams in the league. Maybe if I have the time, I'll do every team in the league. But usually there is a couple teams right now that are up to grabs and who's going to win that division. So I'm most importantly going to do those first. So I probably don't need to make a video about the Packers or 49ers or teams like that, because they're going to be they're going to win their division. And you don't have to do videos on the Bengals or the Redskins, because who would want to watch that? And it's kind of obvious who's going to win that. So I want to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they play their division. They have 6 games against the Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns, and the Cincinnati Bengals. And I think they'll have a pretty good division record this year, along with Baltimore. They also play the NFC East, which includes the Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, and Redskins. And they play the AFC South, which includes the Titans, Texans, Jaguars, and the Colts. And the 2 other games they play are against the Broncos and the Bills. So here's a picture of their schedule. It's probably right on the screen. All right, we're just going to start with the first game on this picture, and it says at Baltimore. So I think Pittsburgh is going to win this game, because, alright, you're probably wondering bro, no one's going to beat Baltimore. No, I think Pittsburgh is going to beat Baltimore at least once this year. And surprisingly, I think it's going to be in Baltimore where they win the game. So I think Pittsburgh's going to take that game. That division rivalry is one of a kind. That game could go either way, even if the team's horrible and then they're playing a good team, that division rival is just unpredictable because Ben Roethlisberger's back. So I'm going to give the Pittsburgh Steelers a win at Baltimore. Next, they play at the Buffalo Bills. And I predicted this video in my Bills video. And I do think, the Pittsburgh Steelers did play the Bills last year at home, and they lost by 7 points. And that did surprise me in a way, because it was for a wild card spot, and they just didn't perform to their best. So I do think Pittsburgh is going to go in that revenge game. And this is going to be the revenge game of the year, where they go to Buffalo and pull off the upset, where they go 2-0. So their next road game is against Cincinnati. And Cincinnati is one of the worst teams in the league. And they have not lost to Cincinnati in 4 to 5 years. No joke. I'm not even joking. They haven't lost to them. I don't even remember when it was before that game where it was a wild card game in the playoffs. That's literally the last time. That was maybe 2016 or 2015. So it's been a while. So I'm going to have Pittsburgh the win. All right, Pittsburgh's going to go to Cleveland. And I think Cleveland's going to be worse this year. And I think Pittsburgh's going to get that win too. So I think Cleveland is really trash. They got a trash organization. And the only reason why Pittsburgh lost to them last year is because they had a garbage quarterback that Mason Rudolph is just garbage, all right? So that doesn't really count. So 1, 2, 3, that's 4-0. Now, I think Pittsburgh's going to Dallas. And depending on when this game starts, early or later in the season, if it's later in the season, I think Pittsburgh's going to get the win. But if it's early in the season, I think Pittsburgh's going to lose. So I'm just going to put that as my swing game, because if it's later in the season, I don't really know who's going to win that game. Because Dallas usually plays really bad to teams that are above 500 or a winning record. And I think Pittsburgh will have a winning record at the end of the season. So if that game is at the end of the season, I think Pittsburgh's going to easily win that game. But if it's in the beginning, it could go either way. So I'm just going to put that as a tie, all right? So the next game's at Jacksonville, and there's no debate here. Jacksonville is one of the worst teams in the league, probably the worst team in the league. I don't even think they're going to win any games. There's no debate. Pittsburgh's easily winning that one. So currently are 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 5-0-1, and then 6-0-1. Now they play at New York Giants, and Pittsburgh, this could be their choke game of the year. Because, I don't know, the Giants do suck, but they do not play good at MetLife. They lost to the Jets last year, and that was just embarrassing. But I think Pittsburgh will pull off the win. They should win this game, and that will give Pittsburgh their 7th win of the season. Now, to the home games. They play Baltimore at home, and I think Pittsburgh is going to lose this game. Just like in previous years, Baltimore has beaten Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh since like 2017 or 2018, and it just hasn't been looking good for them. But Pittsburgh's been winning in Baltimore all those years too. So I think Baltimore is going to win this game and hand Pittsburgh their first loss. Next, Pittsburgh plays the Cincinnati Bengals at home, and if Pittsburgh loses this game, I'm never watching football again, so just give them the win there. So 8-0-1. They play Cleveland at home, and Cleveland has never beaten Pittsburgh in a long time. Man, it's been like, I can't even remember. So Pittsburgh's easily winning that game, no doubt about it. So that's 9 wins. Now, they do play Houston at home, and this could be an upset. I think Texans could win, but they shouldn't win, and they will. They will not win. So the Pittsburgh Steelers will win this game and get 10 wins in a row. I just think that the Watt brothers are just going to counter JJ. There's too much Watt power on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they should win this game against the Houston Texans. It'll be a really close one, honestly. But I think the Texans did get a little bit worse because they traded Hopkins, and I think Houston could easily win, like I said, but Pittsburgh should win. So the next team is at home against the Colts, and the Colts suck. They did get Phillip Rivers, but Phillip Rivers is a garbage dog, and he gets really angry. So it is a home game. The Colts suck. Pittsburgh should win this game, and I'm going to give them, their 11th or 12th win. They got 2 more NFC East rivals. They got the Eagles and the Redskins. So, Pittsburgh against the Eagles. Pittsburgh has always lost to the Eagles in Philly, and they have a 4-2 record against Philly at home. And depending on when this game is, I think the Eagles have had their struggles offensively, and their defense got a little better with Darius Slay joining the Eagles, but I think Pittsburgh will easily win this game, and there's no doubt about it. Also, without a doubt, they play the Redskins. It's another garbage team, and that is a home game, so I'm going to give them the win. So that's another another win for the Steelers. And their last home game of the season is against the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos will not win in Pittsburgh. They do not have a bad team, but Drew Lock, he's going to throw picks and picks in Pittsburgh. It's easy win for the Steelers. I'm going to give them that win too. And their last road game, that I don't know why it's not even included in the other section, but they do play at Tennessee, and I think the Steelers will lose this game. I think Titans are going to be OP, and there's just going to be no stopping Derrick Henry that game, no stopping the offense. Pittsburgh is not going to be able to keep up. They're going to lose that. So, many of you are probably thinking, man, That's a really good record for a team that didn't even make the playoffs last year. But they do have Ben Roethlisberger, and they do have one of the best defenses in the league. They added Eric Ebron to height, and that offense is going to look great next year. Maybe top 10 in the league. So when you're top 10 in the league in offense and defense, you're going to be a good team. But especially their defense is talented. They had the most interceptions, turnovers last year. And I don't expect any less from Bud Dupree, Minka Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt, Joe Hayden. I don't expect anything less from them this year. And they're going to have a great season. So, in recap, they're going to win at Baltimore, win at Buffalo, win at Cincinnati, win at Cleveland, tie the Dallas Cowboys. Actually, I'm going to give them the loss there. I'm going to give them the loss against the Cowboys. So, that is 4-1 right there. Jacksonville 6-1. New York Giants 7-1. At home against the Ravens 7-2. At home against Bengals 8-2. At home against the Browns 9-2. At home against the Texans 10-2. At home against the Colts 11-2. At home against the Eagles 12-2. At home against the Redskins 13-2. At home against the Broncos 14-2. That does not make sense. I meant to say 13-2, and then at Tennessee they're gonna lose 13-3. So I'm predicting the Steelers to go 13-3. They do not have to play any other good teams besides the Ravens. Like, this is one of the easiest schedules I've ever seen in my life, and in my opinion. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Adios.